So, did you see the new trailer for The Last of Us TV show?
I've seen it. I haven't listened to it. So I saw it, but it was muted. It does look quite cool, though. It's about a tour, isn't it? That's it. It's one of the characters. I thought she'd moved back to Australia.
And we are live.
Well, there's horses in it, so it's The Last of Us. It's got mushroom zombies and horses. That's the whole thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing else. No human interaction. Doesn't matter. Hello, we are Pixel Pints. We are the only podcast that talks about two things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. Although I don't think that's technically true, but we're the only global one. We aren't here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. I nearly screwed up the intro, but I'm back on track. Any brewery, beers or breweries we are talking about aren't sponsoring us, but if you'd like to, we will gladly shill for cash or free booze. Please follow us on our social media accounts, which is at @pixel_pints on Twitter, where we normally tweet the business type stuff. No, Mitch, you're not going bald. For anyone listening, Mitch was leaning forward into his mic. I thought he might be checking to see if it had a bald patch or not.
Forgot my lights. I kind of do have a spot that's thinning that's making me nervous, but you didn't get to see it.
You're good. And on Instagram, which is at PixelPintsPod, where I posted a video of me playing Vampire Survivors, which is a really fun game.
Yeah, a lot of people are. One person I was listening to a Kind of Funny podcast recently, and one of them was like, dude, this is freaking game of the year. Why is this not on the list? Like, some people are. This person is very adamant, like, that it's a sham that this game didn't make the list. And I'm like, huh. I've heard good things.
Not so sure. Best indie game. It should definitely be in with the shout of best indie game.
Well, it did make best indie debut, I think. So.
Travesty. Right. Shall we quickly race onto beer talk? Which will just be me, I'm presuming, because it's 8:30 in the morning for you.
Oh yeah, I'm not drinking. No.
Well, you could drink this if you wanted to at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd still think you had a problem, but I have found my new favourite low alcohol beer, which is Leffe Blonde, 0% alcohol. Now, quite a lot of low alcohol beers, where it's a low alcohol version of a alcoholic beer, you can taste a kind of this astringency where they've stripped the alcohol out. This, you don't get that. And it looks and smells and tastes very similar to the normal blonde that you would get from Leffe. It's bloody great.
Okay. Interesting.
You can only get 6 packs of 250 milliliters. I don't know what that is in fluid ounces because you have a stupid system of imperial measurements.
Yeah, we're too superior that we decided not to follow the rest of the world to just be a bunch of assholes.
Why don't you just do what everyone else does? Fuck you, America.
Fuck you.
We're going to stick with the imperial measurements.
America.
Yeah, I saw this in a supermarket and I thought I'll get some because I got into a bad habit of not drinking as responsibly as I had been previously, mainly because the rugby was on and I had 3 heavy Saturdays in a row.
Oh, I do have to ask, how's the football going?
I don't care.
The World Cup, like last time I'd watch it, this year, just because of everything surrounded it, it is in my mind have lost all its And I did watch that documentary on Netflix about
Yeah, but
FIFA.
that's FIFA. That's FIFA's fault, not necessarily Qatar's fault.
True. There's two there's two bodies that are at fault here, and like they're both bad.
Did EA release a World Cup game this year? Yes, they did. They did release a World Cup version of FIFA, but I don't think it did very well.
Probably your last FIFA game you'll ever get.
I think it was an expansion rather than. Who cares? I don't care.
Trying to bring it back to games.
Yeah, well, we could just say, Mitch, how's things in LA?
It's another day in LA. It was fun to see. It's fun to see the Last of Us TV show trailer. Came out just been yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. At I think it's South American Comic Con. I think is where we debuted that. So yeah, it's really exciting. The show looks really good.
Like I said to you before we started, I've seen it. I didn't listen to the VO. But you can, when you see a trailer and you can just tell that they've spent a lot of money on the production.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whoever the production company is behind that, you can tell they've spent a lot of money on it.
Well, it's HBO, and then on top of it, it's the guy that did Chernobyl. So like, safe to assume, like, after Chernobyl was such a fantastic hit, HBO kind of just said, "Do what you want," and he just happens to want to do, I guess, The Last of Us. I'm not sure. and that means all the money to him.
Yeah, I don't know how I can watch it in the UK. I'll have to find out. Because I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fine. Yeah, try to find out.
All the HBO shows are normally on Sky TV over here.
That's what I was going to say.
I'll check and see what's going on. Right. Shall we move on to our topic?
Yeah.
So, we've seen lots of people do kind of reviews of the first 2 years of the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5, and I thought, why the hell not just copy everyone else? Plagiarism, who cares? But it did spring into my mind since my Xbox All Access subscription has finally finished. I made my last payment in the last week of November. And Mitch, do you want to have a guess what I got for being an early adopter and part of the All Access scheme?
Nada?
Exactly. I got absolutely nothing. Not even a thank you or say, here's 15 months for the price of 24 Xbox Ultimate. It was just, no, your subscription's running out in this amount of time. Please renew.
Please renew?
Yeah.
And pay for what?
Well, it would have...
your subscription for Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought you were like, renew your subscription for your base console. I'm like, what kind of language is that?
No, so it was just... You don't... I got the email saying you don't have recurrent billing switched on. It's like, too fucking right, I don't have recurrent billing switched on.
That was their one shot and they missed. That was not the right wording to do.
So...
I'm sorry, you don't want to pay for more content?
I've bought. I saw a discounted 6 months Xbox console subscription, so I bought that and I've loaded that onto my Ultimate subscription. And because I'd loaded it onto my remaining Ultimate subscription, it's given me 6 months of Ultimate, not just console.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if that's a quirk of the system or not, but it made me think. Let's have a bit of a chat about some of the more nuanced things surrounding the hardware, and I'm going to focus on the hardware.
Well, let's just say the other ones are a little bit shammy too in regards to, buttering up one console or another. So
I'm going to be shitting on Xbox for the majority of this episode. So, and that's the only one I own for a very good reason. But I'll get into that. So. Starting with the journey to purchase, let's go back. So for Xbox and PS5, they were an utter shambles.
It was a disaster. I mean, thanks pandemic.
Particularly for PlayStation, it was shocking what happened with the amount of scalping that went on. You'd think that both PlayStation and retailers would want to come up with a solution that prevented that as much as possible, because it makes both of them look bad.
Well, I think at that time, I don't think they knew of how like scalpers existed always have, but like we never seen it on a scale like we seen it when it's only exclusively available online. And so like every scalper in the world in a pandemic with nothing better to do in their time just to scalp consoles, scalped all the consoles.
We have seen it before. We've seen it for tickets for concerts and
right, but we haven't seen it in the gaming world though. Like this is
lift your blinkers off your fucking eyes then. Anyone who could not have seen this foreseen this being a problem needs to have their involvement with production, manufacturing, advertising, and distribution reassessed.
It's fair. It's fair.
In my opinion.
In context, yeah, should they have seen like, oh, this is probably going to be a larger scale? I think it was just shocking to see how large of a scale it actually was, though.
Yeah, and the other thing that irked me about all of that is that you'd see certain websites have resale sites on their own website.
Mm-hmm.
So a scalping bot would go on there, buy it, and then immediately put it up on the same website in the resale section for twice the price that they just paid for it.
Right.
Now, there's a way around that on those websites, which is just shut down your resale site for a certain period of time and avoid it. Xbox was an issue anyway because they faced the same scalping issues, but they had a manual element which was they had to verify the all access. So if you were applying for Xbox All Access, they had to verify that your credit was good enough to enter into the scheme, and they had to verify your direct debit details. So there was a human element there, which meant that the scalpers couldn't just go in and buy all the consoles up.
True.
So on reflection, I'd say point of purchase tick for Xbox. Not a very big tick. You may need a magnifying glass to see it, but I'd say that was a tick for Xbox compared to PlayStation.
True. And then I would probably say the scale in regards to how many consoles were trying to be bought was obviously, and the statistics have been put out there with news stories that, you know, the PlayStation was selling at a higher, faster rate than an Xbox. And so, you know, there's more issues with PlayStation, obviously, because there's more people going to PlayStation.
Yeah, and this is the other thing that I hope people have learned their lesson, that if you can go direct to the manufacturer, you're probably better off doing that.
Well, and I think, you know, I have to look out how Xbox does it. Does Xbox do the same thing as PlayStation, where like you can request online with your Microsoft account, and then they set you into a hub and a queue? I think as time has gone, they've gotten a lot better. So like I obviously still take for Xbox, but I think now 2 years in, I think they have the right system in place, which is good. And that is better for the future, especially because you have to have a PSN, and then a scalper to like generate so many PSN accounts to try to figure that shit out would be so chaotic for them that it actually would benefit the consumer more than just the scalper. So I think tick for both, but yes, higher tick for Xbox of like 2 years in. I think they got the system now that needs to be there for the future that we wish that was there 2 years ago.
I would say the all access, trying to be as impartial as I can be, but I did say I'm going to shit on Xbox later in this episode. So the all access offer was the only reason that I got a next gen console. Otherwise, I'd still have my PS4 Pro.
True.
Because I didn't have 500 or plus all the rest of the stuff that Dan and Liam got, like the 3D audio headphones and camera and everything like that. I just don't have that money.
I feel yeah. The only reason why I have mine is because like wanted to be able to play the game I worked on. Like that's the only reason why I really like pushed to try to get one. Usually I do wait like within the 2-year window to buy one. So like also this was kind of the time I usually do buy one anyway. But yeah, I was more willing to wait a little longer for the console, but because the game I worked on is exclusive for PlayStation 5 and PC, and PS5 is the only version out right now, I was like, gotta get a console so I can see my name in the credits on the retail version.
Now, let's get into a bit more of a subjective thing, which is form factor. I quite like the unassuming black and white box that Xbox came out with. I think the Series S is quite a nice design. I'll get into why I've got technical issues with the Xbox Series X later, but personally, I know people have said that it's really noisy and that it kicks out so much heat. I've not experienced either of those issues. My Xbox Series S is whisper quiet. Series X even. I can turn the volume down to mute on my TV, and you can barely hear it. So I don't know why so many people are saying it's so loud and it kicks out so much heat. I've got none of that. Having had it for 2 years, never experienced any issues with it being loud or overheating. One thing we should say is don't blow vape through the bottom of your Xbox Series X. Which was the thing when it first came out. Someone did that and tried to say, oh, my Xbox Series X overheated and is now on fire. And someone from Xbox had to put out a tweet saying, don't blow vape or smoke through the bottom of your console. Idiot.
So stupid.
Yeah. But that's just a personal subjective thing for me. I do like the form factor of the Series X and S above what the PS5 looks like. However, I do like the fact that I do like the look of what Evan has done, where he bought the black plates. It does look better all black rather than black and white. Do you have an opinion?
Well, I mean, I have a white phone, so like I'm fine with the white. Like it's more my cup of tea lately. Usually I am all like black, dark black, like wearing a black hoodie. But like now I'm actually fine with the white. I actually prefer. Yes, is the console really huge? Heck yes it is. But actually, to be honest, I don't mind either color of both consoles. Like both looks for both consoles are fine with me.
I did think it was a bit odd that the plates purchase thing came out so late after the launch of the console. I thought that was going to be as soon as I saw the breakdown video where they said you can take the plates off, I immediately thought that they were going to be selling those day one.
Yeah,
and I immediately thought as well that when big games came out, they would have limited edition plates that you could buy.
That's what I'm would love to see. I said looking forward to. I have no idea if that's happening. I would love to see that. Like, I really do. Like, that's what I would.
Yeah, if you're going to do a God of War limited edition controller,
why do you not have plates?
Exactly.
Yeah, get a pack, get a bundle with the controller with your plates. Would have been great. I dig it.
Yeah, but that baffles me that wasn't ready day one. And I know people will come up with reasons. Oh, they couldn't possibly do it. They should have thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
If I thought of it as soon as I saw that breakdown video, someone else could have thought of it.
Right, 100%.
The other thing, next thing I wanted to get onto is technical issues. So reported technical issues for the PS5, coil whine. Okay, I've not known anyone personally to have had it. Friends of the show, OTAPs, on Singapore and India's favourite Essex-based podcast, Idle Game Chat. I think a couple of people from that had coil whine, and when they heard it, it was like an earworm. They couldn't unhear it. So they never noticed it until someone pointed it out. And then from that point on, they couldn't deal with it. And they had to... I think they traded it in and got a new PS4. Technical issues reported for the Xbox Series X and S. 0. So I think Microsoft learned from the Xbox 360. Let's sort out our manufacturing issues. Technical... it's not so much of an issue, but hard drive space. I think if you're going to come up with a hard drive solution that basically requires people to go out and buy a very expensive solid state NVMe drive and then disassemble your console to install it, that's not the most user-friendly way to think about expansion.
But I would argue it by doing that, it allows for flexibility of price. Because Xbox has their own one you have to do. I think in this way they learned. PlayStation was trying to learn their lesson from the Vita, when you had to get their proprietary SSD card for your Vita, and everyone lost their mind. They're like, why can't we buy third party? This is them giving them opportunity to do so. Whereas Xbox went the route of the Vita, which is getting some more blowback for that, which is like, well, that's expensive.
Yeah, is it that expensive compared to some of the NVMEs that people have got to buy to put into their PlayStation 5s?
It depends.
120 quid for a 1 terabyte Seagate.
Right, but the Xbox storage, isn't it like $200?
It's 120 quid. So what's that? $150 roughly.
No, I thought it was more than that. I thought it was at least $200. But I think also like maybe over time price will go down for those types of items.
Yeah,
which then will benefit PlayStation in the future. Ones. Yeah, the PlayStation is going to benefit more in the future. Yeah. Not in the present. Like right now, it's probably going to seem about the same price, if not a little more. But as you get into the future, it actually will become very cheap for PlayStation. Whereas in comparison to Xbox, that price really is only one. It's going to fluctuate. I think. I mean, both have issues with storage as well. Like you put
£185 for the Xbox Seagate.
Okay. Yeah, almost
expansion card.
$200. That's what I thought. So
I've seen it cheaper. So
must have been a sale for holidays or something. But yeah, I do see like that. That's storage is an issue for both consoles, just in general. To be honest,
that's one thing I've not had an issue with.
I was gonna say the same thing. I guess it's the way I game. I don't keep things on my console I don't play, because I know I can go download it later, and it downloads so dang quick. It's like, why? It doesn't even matter. And they're like, well, I'm just gonna like want to play, and then I download it and it takes forever, and it's like, that's just not me, because I already know what I want to play. So then I just download it ahead of time. Like, and to be honest, I just play a lot of new things. I don't really go back and play a lot of old games that I've already beaten. So for me, I just delete things I'm not playing. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what game I finished recently that I deleted, but I deleted one recently. Oh yeah, I went back and played some Shadow of Mordor, and I just straight up deleted it, and I was like, oh, there's more room. Like. I still have like, I played Returnal. I deleted that because I got done with that. And it's like, I still have a boatload of games on my console ready to play. And the ones I actually want to play. I don't know. I think it's for the people that, I think it's for the people that just that have Call of Duty and then trying to get all the other stuff on there. And that's really difficult.
Yeah. So this is where I think Activision have done something infinitesimally nicer than how they usually operate, which is they've allowed you to download Warzone 2 as a separate install.
Thank God.
Which is 46 gigs plus a 6 gig patch, rather than the 120 that it would be for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, even if I had that entire game on my system, plus all the other stuff on there, I've still got about 100 gigs free. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I just I don't have this urge to install absolutely everything.
Same. Yeah. I mean, and plus, I still like comparative to the. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but comparative to the last generation of consoles too, I didn't trade in my PlayStation 4 Pro. I literally still have it. It's literally right here next to me. Like it's the one that I use for this makeshift station I have, and because of that, you know, I still have all those games on my PlayStation 4. So if I really want to go back and play like certain games, I can just go to my PlayStation 4. It's like an extra hard drive for myself and leave the PS5 for the ones that actually need PS5. So
yeah, and the next, I don't know where the tick would go on that one, because I don't really think that either people have done anything particularly deserving of praise on that.
I mean, I kind of just
you want to say PlayStation because you're a PlayStation fanboy.
no,
we know this.
No. I'm thinking like you're right because it's 2 years in. It's like has it affected me greatly now? No, it's even. I don't know who to give it to because we're guessing of what the future is gonna be like. If the SSDs for PlayStation to be able to like put them into your console were like right now readily available and readily cheaper, then yeah, I would go to PlayStation hands down for expansion of storage. But they're not. I mean, they're about the same, if not a little cheaper, and there's still not as many of them options out there yet. But eventually there will be, and we're like anticipating them to be more readily.
Yeah, the other thing is I'd need to go back and look at the Digital Foundry video where they did the comparison of external to proprietary internal storage, and
Yep.
there was, I think what I recall from watching that was there's a tiny difference.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make that much difference. The difference is when you're actually using external storage. So I don't mean the installing the NVMe into your PS5. I mean plugging something into a USB-C port and using it as external storage.
Which, to its credit, it is nice that you can download those games and put them on an external storage, and then, just bring them back in. You just have to reinstall them, but you don't have to re-download them, and that's huge.
Yeah, or you can actually run. You can run games.
PS4
from
games.
External storage. You can do that on Xbox Series. You can run them from an external SSD.
I will say the one thing I gotta ask you about this because
I'll get onto the external SSDs in a bit. The next thing I want to talk about is actually setting up the system. But carry on with your point.
Well, I had a question for you. It's like Xbox has this whole quick resume thing, and I've been hearing nothing about it. Like, is it really? Do you use it? Is it worth using? Is it like?
Yeah, it's a nice feature
to like switch between games.
I don't use it for that. I use it for even if you put your console properly to sleep, it caches that game at that state. So even if it's not a save state. So I've been playing Vampire Survivors and a bit of Destroy All Humans and a lot of Apex Legends because it's me. Apex Legends, it doesn't work. It actually crashes the game because you need that connection to the EA servers. So every time I exit Apex Legends, I have to actually physically go into the game and quit it from the home screen. Otherwise, it will save it in quick resume so that when you reopen it, it will open it with a server error, and then I've got to reload.
I see. So that's not really worth it for online games, but it's worth it for your single player games.
It's actually really annoying for online gaming.
Okay.
In terms of other games that you've got saved locally, it's really helpful because you don't have to go through a home screen, loading screen, save restart screen, whatever. It is just click on the quick resume and it's back. And that's even in when you turn the console to sleep. So it's not. So you've got two power states. I think it's similar on PS5. So you've got a low power mode, which you can use if you're doing big installs. You leave it on low power mode, and it will continue the install. If you put the console to sleep, if you put the Xbox Series console on sleep mode, that's the low power mode. So it won't actually install anything, but it will cache your save games.
Oh, okay. So for PlayStation, both of those are in one. So we have sleep mode, and then that is where, your progress of where you are is literally saved. So when you hit the button, it'll resume that where you were. You can download and install at the same time, new things, patches, all that kind of stuff. And then there's the on, sleep mode, off. So like we just have one in between phase. You have broke it down a little bit more, which is slightly weird. I'm like, why just not?
In terms of power, in terms of how I use the console, it's brilliant because I'm using less power to get the same feature. Would I say to anyone that quick resume is, oh my god, you've got to buy this console for quick resume? It's so great. Absolutely not. It's a nice to have.
I guess the convenient thing I really like is having it always on sleep mode compared to like having a low power mode option, which I probably would never use, to be truthfully honest. Would be like I can connect my PlayStation to my phone through the app. So then when I get new games, I literally can have my PlayStation download it while it's in sleep mode and have it ready to go for me once I get home.
Yeah, so you can do that on mine, but that's in the higher state of
hence why I would just say I love that you're giving them choice. I guess that's just not an option I would never use, but I could see some people could use it, I guess.
Yeah, so when I know that I'm going to install something, I'll change the power settings.
See, for me, I don't realize I want something until I get to work, and I'm like, well, I don't have time to change the power settings. So I just, that would be me. I'd be like, damn it, I put it in ultra sleep mode today, and I can't now download this game I want to download and have it all set up and ready to go when I get home from work.
Yeah, one thing that does, moving on, because that you mentioning the app is a very neat link. Setting up the Xbox console is a pain in the arse because the first thing it asks you to do is install the Xbox app. So if you want to set up a new Xbox Series console, you have to do it using the Xbox app. There's no way of doing it without it.
Seriously?
Who thought that was a good idea?
Oh no, that's awful. That's so bad. Why?
I have no idea. I have no idea why they thought that was a good idea. And everything is then linked through your phone. So if I wanted to do a factory reset on my console, I'm pretty sure I've got to do it on my phone rather than from the Xbox app rather than the actual console.
Oh my god.
They
want you in that ecosystem.
The other thing that pisses me off about the Xbox app is you can't actually purchase games from it.
What?
Nope.
Oh my god.
How backwards is that?
Yeah.
So I can, if you want to install games.
Tell me if it's a line from.
Nope, sorry. I was trying to pull up my PlayStation apps just to see how many I like, because, well, keep going, because I was trying to just get my facts straight before I gave a point.
So Xbox has 2 apps as well, which is a pain in the arse. So you've got your Xbox.
Oh no, PlayStation has 3. I'll get into that later.
And then you've got the Game Pass app. So if I wanted to install a game, I can't install anything other than games that are on Game Pass, because I can't purchase anything from the Xbox app, even though it allows you to search for games, films, and other media on there that you could potentially have on your console. I think, why the hell wouldn't you want to make my purchasing experience as easy as possible? I do not understand who is designing that as a OTAPs, no need to buy anything, Game Pass has you covered. But I don't understand, because if you're going to have sales on games, or if a game is leaving Game Pass and it gives you the opportunity to buy it, like Streets of Rage 4, great game, fabulous game.
Oh,
way better than.
I think that's so smart. Like, I wish they did that. It's like, hey, this game is leaving. Do you want to buy it so you can keep playing it? It's on sale, discount.
Yeah, but they don't let you do it through They don't let you do it through the app. You've got to do it on the console. But yeah, it will tell you on the app on your phone, or wherever you have your app, that you can buy it, but you just can't do it on the app. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, okay, so I can partly complain about PlayStation, but then I just realized, as I did my research really quick on my phone, so PlayStation has 3 apps. So they have the PlayStation app, they have the PlayStation Message app, and the PlayStation Community app. Now, what I just learned in just playing around with the PlayStation app is actually the other 2 companion apps are already on the PlayStation app. So actually, these are just extensions if you only want the other 2. So I will, as a ding to PlayStation is no longer a ding, because it answered my question of, it offers you choice and doesn't force you to do 3 full apps to use their systems. Like, you can use one app and it'll do everything you want. It's just, if you want just only a Messenger app, you just use the Messenger app. If you only want a community app, you can use the only community app. So, but I love the PlayStation app, and like, it's not required, but it's really cool. Like, I can turn on my PlayStation from home. All you have to do is leave your consoles in rest mode, and you can switch between. I can switch between my PlayStation 4 Pro and my PlayStation 5 here at my house. And so, like, if I get a game and I have a code and I start typing that in, I can type that into the PlayStation Store on my PlayStation app, and then just like have it download onto which console I want, and then have it ready to go when I get home. That it's already downloaded, installed, got all the updates. I don't have to wait. Like, it's super convenient. So unfortunately, like, I think this will have to probably go to PlayStation in regards to servicing the consumer outside of the ecosystem of the console itself.
Oh, absolutely. And also just the simplicity of being able to, from what I've heard from people who have a PS5, is when you want to set up your PS5, you plug it in and it asks you to sign in. And
yes. And it
and
saves a lot of your stuff.
Process.
Yeah, and it saved a lot of your stuff. So like, if you have a PSN account and you apply it, it's similar to like, so like when I got the new Google Pixel 7 Pro. I have a Google 5, a Pixel 5. Literally just says, do you have an account? I do. I put my account in. Do you want to import your stuff that we have all over on your account? Yes, I do. The same thing kind of happened with PlayStation. All I had to do was have, so you know how you can like plug in the 2 phones at the same time and they'll transfer some data to each other, and then the rest will be done through the app, through the data that was saved on the cloud from Google. Well, it kind of did the same thing with my PlayStation. It read what games were on my account through my PlayStation next to me right here on my PS4 Pro, and it was like, which games do you want to transfer over? Do you want to transfer any of these games? Do you want to transfer any of these apps? And I can choose which ones I wanted to do. Super awesome. And then literally just click to do it, and they're like, yeah, it'll be done in like a couple hours. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'll go to work, come back, and we'll all be ready to go. And it was. It's just super convenient.
The way they did it on Xbox is just, I don't understand why they thought this was a user-friendly experience. And then doing things like, oh, you can set up your avatar. Well, I've already got an avatar. I want to import it. Oh, you can't import that one because it's from an old generation of console. But what you can do is install an app that allows you access to old avatars from the Xbox 360 era. And then you can import your... Why? Why the fuck is this so complicated? And onto a different thing about why things are so complicated. Mitch, I'm going to talk you through some scenarios, and then I want you to hazard a guess how you do what I'm talking you through on a PS5. So this is about video game capture, particularly how to capture voice chat in game captures on Xbox. So there's multiple ways that you can do this on Xbox. You can stream your game to Twitch and then grab the element of the video that you want from there. You can play on a PC. So you'd have to use not remote play. What am I thinking of? You'd have to play on Game Pass on your PC. So you're not playing on your console, play on your PC and have a video software package, capture the audio, and then capture the video, and then you talk over what's happening. Or you have Xbox capture the gameplay and audio by plugging in an external SSD drive and have that as the thing that captures your gameplay footage. So there's 3 options for being able to capture gameplay audio. So this would be if I was playing Apex Legends with friends and I wanted it to not just record the gameplay but also our chat. There's 3 options to do that, and those are those 3 options to get that done on Xbox. How do you think you can do that on PlayStation?
Just do it through the gallery of the multimedia player.
You press the share button.
Yeah.
The workarounds that the Xbox users have to put in to try and capture game footage is just fucking stupid. I don't understand why they didn't think that people would want, knowing how popular YouTube is and Instagram and Twitter for people posting gameplay footage, that you wouldn't give people the opportunity to simply capture gameplay and gameplay audio.
Sorry, keep going on your rant. I just have to walk away for 2 seconds, but I'll be right back. You got this.
I am angry and disappointed at the same time. It's not like when you upset your parents and they're not angry, they're disappointed. I'm angry and disappointed. Why should I have to go out and buy a external SSD drive to be able to use that to capture my gameplay footage to then be able to edit it down when on PS5 you press the share button, if it's even called a share button anymore, and it's captured the last however many, I think it's up to an hour of gameplay, whereas on Xbox the most that you can capture in video is 60 seconds. 60 seconds is nothing if you want to put a gameplay video together. Okay, it's good if you want to do something small, but if you want to actually do any kind of decent video editing or gameplay capture, how much of a pain in the arse are they making it for Xbox users compared to PlayStation, who, not that many people I know share stuff off PlayStation, but the easiest way for me to do it would be to stream to Twitch and then have to find the right place in the Twitch stream to grab that section of video, clip it, download that clip, and then use that. I just don't get why they said, oh yeah, 15 seconds, 30 seconds or a minute of gameplay footage is enough for anyone.
No, it isn't. Now, I will tell you, it is not considered the share button anymore. You know what the button it's called now?
Fuck you, Xbox.
No, it's called the create button. Because they just offer more options now in regards to, it's not just sharing, it's like using the settings to like create works of art to be able to put out into the ether. But yeah, no, it's great. I will say the convenience of being able to like, save chunks of gameplay. I mean, it saves me so much time because sometimes you don't realize something's a big issue that you want to share. Like I like sharing, it's it's like I'm not used to now, but I love sharing like funny issues in games. So like I was playing Uncharted, the the oh Jesus Christ, what
Nathan Drake thingy.
the Nathan Drake collection, the newer one, the one with the PS4, Uncharted 4. I mean, yeah, Uncharted 4, and then Lost Legacy, Legacy of Thieves edition. Wow, holy cow, brain fart. But anyways, I was playing that, and I jumped, and then when Nathan grabbed onto the railing, because of the angle I did it at, he ended up inverting his arm, so he looked like he was doing a climb like this. So one arm like this, and then one arm up like this. So it looked like he separated his shoulder completely, and it was hilarious. And I was like, okay, I want to share this because it's like Nathan Drake doing a monkey crawl. It's like funny. So then so I was like, hit my buttons and stuff. And then apparently it was a keep happening. So I was like, oh, I really want to keep sharing this, like, of how it kept going. So I was just like, extend my video to 30 minutes. It's just like, it's very convenient. You can chop it up right there. I mean, I think there's a lot of tools there.
So there is something on Xbox that you can do that with, but you need to download another app.
I will, to be frank and to be fair. So like the cool thing is with the PlayStation app, I can grab, let me just get total confirmation from this, is I am able to grab my video from the PlayStation app on my phone and then post it to social media. I'm having issues grabbing images. Oh no, I'm just sorry. So my apologies. The opposite. I can take images, pictures, and then take them from the PlayStation app to my phone and then post them out into the ether. But I do have issues getting them on the videos onto the app. It won't go there. You have to directly share it from your PlayStation. And that is like my one gripe about the system. I wish.
Well, there isn't that issue on Xbox because it automatically, any game capture that you make automatically shows up on your Xbox app, and then you have to.
So you have to allow it. You have to like say send to PlayStation, which is kind of nice though because I maybe don't want everything on there.
Yeah, it's just I find it annoying because there are certain times where certain funny things happen in games. I don't really want to have to think, okay, is this going to go on longer than 60 seconds? Or if there was a couple of times where I've wanted to take longer videos of playing Apex, and I don't particularly want to end up streaming that to Twitch, or I don't want to have to go out and buy an external fucking SSD drive to plug into my Xbox just to capture some gameplay on the off chance that something interesting might happen.
Right.
It's one of these things, and I've run into this a lot on Xbox from having it for the last 2 years. Things just don't seem intuitive.
No, I'd agree with you.
And that's the major gripe that I have about it is it's not intuitive. Anything that I want to try and do, there's always got to be one extra step or two extra steps to do something.
It sounds like for Microsoft, it's like because they're a servicer company, it's like, oh, we'll just make an app for it.
Yeah, or we'll use someone else's app.
We'll just put it on the store, Yeah. Well, someone will download it.
Yeah, so if you want, when you first get it, there's no Blu-ray app installed. So you have to actually go to the store and download a Blu-ray app to play Blu-rays.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, PlayStation wins on that one, hands down. It's just for that. Like, you gave them a disc drive and they can't even use it unless they download the freaking app. Are you freaking kidding me?
It works for games straight away, but if you put film in, the first thing it will do is install an app.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Moving on.
User-friendly.
Jesus Christ, it is not. Okay, moving on. Do we want to get to the behemoth before we run out of time?
No, I wanted to talk about controllers. Okay. So massive tick to the DualSense. Well done. Moving on. because the
I mean,
as much
oh, go ahead.
I like the feel and the form factor of the Xbox controller. The rumble is shocking, and the fact that you can't even plug on none of the controllers.
It's not rumble. It's not rumble. Haptics. It is a different technology, so it is not rumble. It is not rumble.
It feels just like rumble because it doesn't actually. All it does is go. It doesn't feel like haptic feedback at all. You can't on none of the controllers that I have, and I have 3. So I have the one that I got with the console. I bought one so that I could play mainly Streets of Rage 4 with my wife, and I've got a Elite 2 that I use. You can't. On none of them can you plug a pair of normal 3.5mm jack headphones into and get audio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why it doesn't work on any of the 3 controllers. So it can't be an issue with my headphones. It's got to be an issue with the controllers. And
so the controller offers 3mm headset, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
For a second, I thought they didn't offer it. I was like, wait, what? I thought they did. Oh.
Yes. So then, if it again goes back to the point I was making, I should just be able to plug a set of headphones in and it work. Whereas if I've got a headset and plug that in, it's fine. And that works off a 3.5mm jack as well.
Weird.
But headphones, no.
Interesting. That is very weird.
Again, don't get it. So that's... It looks like PlayStation's kind of sweeping the board on most of this. And right, do we want to talk about the elephant in the room? And I'm assuming by that you mean exclusive games.
Let me just say about the controller really quick, because I really, really love the PlayStation like DualSense. And I'll admit, like even like the old generations, you know, the PlayStation's controller has not been very... it's been comfy-ish, but not to the point. Xbox has always been more comfy to me. I think it's just because it was bigger, a little more grip space for someone like me. I don't have big hands, but like I do not have small hands at all. So like for me,
Donald.
Well, I mean, let me just pull one up really quick. Like the DualShock 4. Like the console controllers have been getting bigger from PlayStation, but still they really haven't been that big. And I think the form factor of it's been okay, but it wasn't until the DualSense. I love how bigger it is. The weight's really nice, and then like the adaptive triggers to play with those has been fascinating. To see what they do. Like an example is like I've aimed with a weapon before, and I can feel the trigger going pushing some resistance back to me, and I can ease up on it and actually make it do almost full clicks and still be in aiming mode. But like, yeah, it's fascinating. The fact that like basically the speaker in the controller can play a sound vibration that is distinct to that sound, because sound is all vibrations, and that is so fascinating. And that is like why some people in their hands, they can recognize the type of sound that is in their hands, because it matches what the vibration is going on in your ear when you hear it auditorily. So like, it's just so fascinating. Like, I'm just utterly impressed of the technology.
I think the main thing that shows how good the DualSense is as a piece of technology is that not long after that came out, and not long after I got the Series X, the Microsoft sent a survey round. Which I'd like to see, and one of them listed was about the controller, and would you like to see more features like the DualSense? So,
yeah,
the piece of kit it is if your competitors think that it's worth trying to imitate.
Yeah, and I think the other argument, and this will be my last one and why I just wanted to talk about it, is I think what PlayStation has really nailed down this generation, it's you know, generations have always, a lot of people have been like, oh, it's all about like graphics and the hardware and like how beautiful the game looks. And it's like, it seems as if this time around, PlayStation is saying like, yes, it is all about that, but it's also about things like 3D audio, the way you're experiencing the game. So like the audio around you, the way the controller provides vibrations that are like actually vibrated to the sounds that you hear in the environment, the triggers that put in resistance on it to add even more immersion. Now people can turn those things off if they want to, and that's great. But at the same time, it just offers more opportunities to like immerse the player in the game along with the higher res graphics. It's like they thought a little bit of a step further, and I love that they thought of that, because like I've always been a proud advocator of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, because I think the audio in it is extraordinary. And that was something that is beyond generations of hardware. And I was like, I wish games were more thoughtful about the experience of what the player is experiencing. And now in this generation, PlayStation has jumped on that bandwagon, and I really tap my hat off to them. Like if this was Microsoft, I'd be tapping my hat off to them too, because like it is something that I appreciate more than just the uprising graphics and the more powerful hardware. And I think we lost Keith in the stream, but I will keep going until he hops back on. Oh, he's back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just finished my entire thing, and I was literally about to keep talking for a little bit longer, but go ahead. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Right, my Discord looks like it's reconnecting. This is what I was saying about my internet. I don't know why all of a sudden it just cuts out every now and then.
Oh, no, you're good.
So one thing, yes, PlayStation has better exclusive games. Well done. You've pretty much always had better exclusive games.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I don't know if why that's...
The 360 era would have been the one era that Xbox had the upper hand, but then it started to tail off near the end of the generation. Like, I will say this, like, I love Cameo, the Spirits Within or whatever that thing is called. Like, that is a freaking awesome game. Like on Xbox 360.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, not Kina. Sorry. Cameo. Did I say Cameo?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Oh, okay,
I was
cool.
trying to figure out what it was you were talking about.
No. Yeah, not Bridge of Spirits. I think it's just Cameo, something else. But anyways, great game. Great, phenomenal, like, adventure and monster transformer and, like, super cool fairy mechanic. And I enjoyed the crap out of that game as a kid on the Xbox 360. Like, I still wish I could play it today. Yeah, they had a lot of great games on 360 back in the day. Like, I had one.
Yeah,
I had one back then. I even played Mass Effect before I even knew Mass Effect was like a legit awesome thing. I was like, oh, I'll just play this game, and just played it. And then all of a sudden I realized like 3 years later, I was like, oh, that game was like a legit, like, beloved title. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and at the time, Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah, true. And I was a little shocked by that, which then helped me with my transition to PlayStation, because they do the comic if you get it for PlayStation, because they don't have the original for PlayStation. They only have Mass Effect starting at 2, so you could do this like little comic and like make the choices you made in the first game by not playing the first game. And I remembered my choices, so I just like selected those options, and then I was like, okay, cool, I got all my choices I wanted in there. Because I remember spoiler alert, accidentally killed the...
Rex.
Was it Rex?
The Krogan on Vermont.
Yeah. I was going to say Rex. I accidentally killed him. I did not know I was going to kill him when I chose the option I chose. I was like, whoa, we took that way too far. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, they kind of always had... I'm disappointed. You know, I know Xbox doesn't have the games right now at this moment, But the
Oh,
way
they do, but it's on something different.
right, but I mean in the way of the
First party and
first
second party
party,
exclusive.
yeah, and I just think of the way that they've been rolling it out, and rolling it out, and then also on top of it, saying that they're coming in a way that is more annoying than it is like hopeful. You know, it's just like if I see one more CG trailer, I'm gonna flip a lid. It's just like we know you don't have them. Stop showing us what is not real, or telling us what's going to happen, which could be subject to change 6 months from now, because some of these games are still in pre-production. Like it's just like, no, this is not what I want. I just wait until the game is ready to go, and then you can show me more, or when you have something more to show substantial, show me that. But just this is not what you're going to show me.
Yeah, but the reason that I swapped from 360 to PS4 was because of the exclusive games. The reason that I swapped back from Xbox, back from the PlayStation ecosystem to Xbox, was because of the affordability at the time of me being able to buy the console using Xbox All Access. And
which I wish there was a PlayStation All Access would be really cool.
It would be, yeah, because I would have got a PlayStation 5. And then access the Game Pass. So for me, the two ultimate factors that won it for Xbox were those two. If I had 500 and whatever it was quid in my bank account at the time, I would have got a PS5. But I didn't. But what I did know is I could afford, over the cost of 2 years, £26 something a month. So for me, over the last 2 years, I've got to say I don't have to say that the winner is Xbox. But for me, it was the better value at the time.
I agree with you 100%. Like they nailed it with that.
In terms of, they have done some absolutely shocking choices. They've made some absolutely shocking choices in terms of how they designed the interface and usability and accessibility of the product. But in no way am I thinking, oh my God, I've made the wrong choice. And if my financial circumstances weren't as shocking as they are at the moment because of the cost of living crisis, the cost of profiteering crisis, fight me. It is the cost of profiteering. But and the money that I've been saving over the last year is going to go towards a PS5 next year. I'd probably be able to get a PS5 probably until 2020, Christmas 2023, or probably early 2024. But if they did some kind of monthly subscription service, PlayStation, are you listening? I could get one now.
Yeah.
But you don't want me to do that, do you? Because PlayStation hates me because I bought an Xbox.
I guess so.
And obviously, the thing is, I don't really care about this, which is better thing. I think there's only what works for you. And if what works for you is a PS5, good for you. If what works for you is a... What's that? Jim said you can split your PayPal payments off your pop. I don't have a PayPal account, so...
I also would argue to say, like, like, it is your cup of tea. I also think there's really good value in PlayStation Plus. Like, I think people are...
Well, there wasn't. There is now.
Yeah, there is now. And I think that with, like, if you don't get the regular tier, like the essential tier, it's the one up above that. If you have a PS5, I highly recommend you hop up to that second tier, because in the price you pay, just like in Game Pass, you get multiple PlayStation 5 exclusive games ready to go to play on that platform. You get the new Demon Souls that literally came out on launch. You get Returnal. You get Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, so that's the DLC that's exclusive for PlayStation 5. You get the full game plus the DLC. You like that three of you get Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, so you get the DLC of Iki Island and the full like 4K experience for Ghost of Tsushima. So like that
and the Japanese,
yeah,
with the mouth sync.
That's true. That's true. And that's just 4 games. That's just 4 like high quality titles. Not only EA plays connected, just like Xbox Game Pass, but again, like the values are there now for those consumers. So I think 2 years later, I think both companies have found a way to give their subscribers value. And I would argue that, like, yes, what is your cup of tea? Right now, Xbox doesn't have the first-party exclusives, unfortunately, because they have to rely on third-party and second-party to fill up Game Pass at this very moment. So, like, if you're looking for more, like, maybe more well spread out experiences, probably Game Pass is going to be your bet, because there's more variety. Not in saying now some variety is really bad and some variety is really good. It's just a very large spectrum. Whereas if you're doing like PlayStation Plus, if you're wanting the PlayStation type games, which is those like big budget first party, second party games, that's where you're going to find them on the PlayStation Plus, because of all the titles I just listed. Those are 5 of the biggest titles from PlayStation. Oh, sorry, I forgot even Miles Morales is on there. Miles Morales and Spider-Man, the up-resed remaster for PlayStation 5, that is also on there too. So like those are some of the biggest first-party games available. The only first-party games that aren't on there right now is The Last of Us Part 1, God of War Ragnarok specifically, and then Ratchet and Clank. Those are 3 games. Out of the 3 games, the rest of the Sony first-party PS5 lineup is all on PS Plus. So that's like, it's what you're, like you said, it's what's your cup of tea. So I think in 2 years, I think we're kind of in a standstill of because I think both are leaning into their strengths, is what I'm trying to say basically. And so I think it's kind of dead even. A lot, but in regards to like, I would agree with you. PlayStation has the better games coming from 2 years later, but I think when we're talking about the services that they offer in regards to gaming services, I think they're pretty even actually right now.
Yeah, right now. They weren't when it started.
Agreed. But we're looking at 2 years on the mark, right?
Yeah. So going back to what I was saying, is a lot of people have spoken and talked a lot of nonsense about this whole Xbox versus PlayStation, when what they should be realizing is that everyone is talking about Xbox versus PlayStation and not including the Switch, because it's an underpowered mobile phone.
I was gonna say, is it more of PlayStation, Xbox versus Nintendo, with Pokemon selling 10 million copies in 3 days?
Yes, just bonkers. People buy multiple. The only thing is people buying 2 copies because they want all the Pokemon. It's just don't buy it. Don't buy it, and I'll stop doing it.
I'm just laughing because here's like Master Chief and like and Kratos going at it in the corner, and here's Pikachu just being cute, and everyone's around Pikachu, and Pikachu's yeah. Everyone's like, oh look, it's so adorable. And Godward's like, hey, I'm right here. Can you take a picture with me?
Why are they ignoring us,
boy?
So yeah, I'd agree. I think all things considered, I think the last 2 years have been pretty even for both consoles, unless you have got to try and justify you being a fanboy or girl or non-binary person. I think it also, for some reason.
It also depends on what kind of gamer you are. Like, to be honest, I mean, oh sorry, I left out Forbidden West. Forbidden West is not on PS Plus right now, but like PlayStation does not have a RPG, like a really just a regular RPG. You can find that on Xbox. Like there are things that each one does not have that the other has. So like it is
Yeah.
that's like half the reason why they're so even. It really just depends on what game is your cup of tea. Like Burkov would love Xbox Game Pass more because it has RPGs.
Mitch, I'm really disappointed that you've not invested in a Xbox or Game Pass more consistently than you have, because knowing how much you love Bethesda and all of their titles.
For the next 26 days, yes, I do.
So I think you should
and
get
counting.
a 1 month Game Pass subscription and fill your boots with the titles whilst you can.
Oh, don't worry, Keith. When the clock hits midnight on that first of the new year, I'm sending you all a video on the Discord.
I'll save it and post it on YouTube. Right, and on that note...
Wait, what?
I think...
Oh, I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Not ready.
Yeah, that wasn't the last... we were like... I thought you were going to go into like a little more of a closer here.
No, you've just got to be ready. Get fingers on buttons.
Fingers on buttons. All right, we'll say it one more time and then we'll go.
And the fact that Mitch loves Bethesda and all of their titles, on that note...
Starfield, most anticipated game until the end of the year.
How many hours have you put into Skyrim? Not as many as Matt.
That's true. I never finished Skyrim.
Skyrim's so boring.
I tried to finish it. I was playing as an archer class and like literally killing them with arrows.